Welcome everybody to another episode of the Strength for Your Purpose podcast here on site at EA Fitness and Performance with the owner, Evan Amell. Evan, thanks for doing a bit of a last minute interview with me, but
no problem.
we've had you on the podcast before,
Yes.
and now that we're doing a bit of a format and kind of doing it on location, so to speak, and I know you got some new stuff going on. I definitely want to have you on again.
Yeah.
For those watching, I also don't think I'm too cool for you or Evan. Just have a little eye issue going on. Sunglasses are a little easier right now.
So he says.
Yeah, right. You're on to me, Evan.
Yeah.
You're on to me. So I just wanted to not have people watch this and question why was Phil wearing sunglasses all the time. But anyway, thanks for taking the time to chat with me. For people that don't know you, haven't listened to the show before, give us a little background on yourself and a little bit about EA Fitness.
Yeah, I know it's been some time since I've been on the podcast, but yeah, I'm Evan Amell. I grew up here in the state of Maine. I've had my own facility we're going to be going on 7 years. I've been on my own, so it's been a long time. We were first in West Falmouth. We were there for 4 years, and then July 2024, we moved to Portland. So we work with a bunch of people. One of the things that we've started promoting is our new program called the Green Swing Academy. And people ask what is the Green Swing Academy? Well, it's for golfers because I'm a golf addict myself. I love playing golf, and I think that one of the things I saw an opportunity in is that a lot of golfers take a lot of time on the range. They're working on their short game, all these different things. But I want to give a resource for people that might need a little bit more than that to improve their golf game. And, sometimes even Dr. Phil is a good resource for it if they're dealing with some pain in terms of improving their physical well-being that is going to directly translate to their golf swing to make it more efficient, figure out what their limitations are and what that looks like from a tactical standpoint of programming. What does that look like, all the way starting from the assessment. So it's one of the new initiatives I've started, and that's because if I'm speaking to my golfers when I say this, we'll do anything to show you even one stroke off our score.
100%.
So if we can make you stronger, we can do the things that you need to do in order for that to happen from a physical standpoint. I want to give a resource for those people because there's nothing more frustrating than playing not as well as that you could.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes so much sense. I mean, golf is one of those lifelong sports. They tell you they have the handicap system and you can play at any age and allows people at any skill level to play competitively against each other, which is great. But I think sometimes that also means that we don't put as much emphasis on the fact that it is like a sport, and there's not only wear and tear on your body from it potentially, especially if you're working in a not so great mechanical system, you could hurt yourself on the golf course, but even more likely than that, your physical body, if you're not putting enough work into it, your game's only going to get so much better in some cases. I mean, sometimes the physical body is basically where it needs to be, but I think even if you feel that way, there's probably some work to be done.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly why pros are doing it. That's why, with this particular certification, I'm certified as a Titleist Performance Institute instructor. Not teaching the golf swing, fitness professional, let me clarify that. I'm not going to teach you how to swing a golf club. But in terms of the overall dynamics of the golf swing, there's so many different things that kind of go into it that are not optimal for the human body in general. So it's like if you have issues with core strength, your ability to dissociate your upper body from your lower body, you're going to deal with some problems. And it's going to catch up to you because there's a lot of repetitions that happen during golf. The average person is probably taking around 80 swings per time that they're out there. That's a lot of time to be under tension during a mechanic that's not really natural for the human body to do. So it's like figuring out, starting with the assessment, what things are kind of like, whether it's a mobility problem, a strength deficit, figuring out what those are so they can continue to play the sport that they love, the sport that I love for the years to come. Like you said, it's been looked at as a sport that you can play for the rest of your life, but if you're dealing with aches and pains all the time, it kind of takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, and I think, speaking from personal experience in my golf game too, Evan, knowing that you have a physical deficit that's impacting your ability to swing the club and make contact the way that you need to means that you could run that drill that you saw on Instagram or do what the pro that you paid those lessons for told you to do over and over and over again, but you still might not be able to overcome it, And I think golf pros are phenomenal at even just sort of identifying some of the things people like yourself and myself could examine at like a
Oh,
more
yeah.
in-depth level
100%.
and help you compensate
Yeah.
for that. Like they've got a pretty good idea, like, okay, this person's body just doesn't move that way. Like I got to come up with another way to prevent them from coming outside in or like over the top or whatever. But that's all well and good, but
Yeah.
that's still going to cap your ability to get better. Like hitting a straight shot and always moving forward. Many pros have told me is like that's the goal. Like as long as you're moving forward and you're not off in the junk or in the woods.
You're not too far to the left or right.
Right. As long as you're moving
Yeah.
forward and the ball's findable, like that's okay. You're in an
Yeah.
okay spot. But if you can work the drills and know for sure what your body needs to do to get better, you're going to enjoy this game that you already enjoy. You know, if you're like me, you hit a dozen shots around that make you realize that, oh, I'm kind of okay at this. Like I'm okay enough to keep coming out here and doing it.
Yeah, enjoying it. Yeah.
Enjoying it, but you're going to enjoy it that much more if you're taking strokes off your game and adding distance to your drive and not feeling like you're just always like fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah, well, I mean, you spoke to a good point here, like a minute ago when you mentioned about like, oh, like, you know, the golf instructors are really good at like modifying a swing based on whether it's just like, you know, working with the swing or if there's actually a physical limitation. And I think that's where the opportunity is for people like you and me. If like, is there an actual opportunity to actually say increase range of motion, increase strength? So then like, oh, they don't actually have to change their swing in order to get in the position that the golf instructor wants them to get in.
Right.
And that is the beauty of what we do at Green Swing is that with the Titleist Performance Institute testing, we can actually speak the same language as an instructor does, you know, in terms of like looking at certain characteristics. So then like all of us can work together instead of like the instructor saying one thing and the trainer's doing something completely different.
Right.
So we can work cohesively and put a program that ultimately the client is going to see the better results as a result.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. You know, most trainers could even if they don't play golf themselves, can understand, you know, PTs too.
Oh, yeah,
can
100%.
understand the mechanics of golf and be like, oh, I could give you, you know, 2 or 3 mobility exercises in key groups of your body and some stability work and some strength and power work that would probably help your golf game. But when you can understand it at like a deeper level and know when that golf instructor uses a term that is very specific to golf,
I'm like, oh, I know
what that is. And not only do you know what that is, you know the physical characteristics of the body that are needed and required to execute that pattern to the highest level possible. And that's definitely what sets this apart. There are a lot of trainers and PTs out there that could, like I said, that could work on some of this stuff.
For sure,
with
100%.
With just the knowledge base that we have, especially if you work with that type of athlete. But you know, taking it a step further and like actually knowing the terminology and how the body movements apply to it sets it apart for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that, like I was saying before, where it's like we can work together because like if they're saying, hey, we're working on early extension with this client. From a swing pattern standpoint, I know exactly what that characteristic is. So I'm like, okay, well, I know that I can work on this area to help improve the effects that they're getting with their training sessions with improving the golf swing. So I think that it's really kind of the secret sauce, and that's why pros are doing it. I mean,
100%.
And I believe the statistic for TPI is 18 out of the last 20 major winners have been working with a TPI professional at some capacity. So it's like it works. It's a good system.
Yeah.
But you know, I do agree with the fact that like most people, trainers, physical therapists, like have an understanding of like what things that are required for a golf swing.
Sure.
But if you can speak the same language as the people that are literally teaching the golf swing, that's an absolute game changer, and why I love what we're doing here. With the Green Swing Academy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's good enough for Rory and Scotty, it's good enough for you, right?
Exactly, that's right. You don't need a swing like that.
Right.
That's the principle of it. Is like
you're
not trying to get a perfect swing. You're just trying to make your swing more efficient. And
Right.
what that looks like is so different. You know, pros, they've been, I mean, probably a million swings they've probably done in their lifetime.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't hit the ball in a way that is not only going to help you perform well, but it's going to keep you from injuring yourself as well. Because like we were talking about before with all the repetitions and how it's not really mechanically ideal for the human body. But if you can do things to mitigate that, you know, depending on what that looks like for that person, mobility, strength, whatever it is, then you're going to enjoy your golf game for the years to come. But I don't know about you,
100%.
but I want to play until I go into the ground.
Yeah.
So
Well, how many
I'm using these principles myself.
100%. Yeah. And like how many of us have maybe played with someone who's played like a long time, maybe they're like 60, 70 years old and like, man, I wish I could just play like old man golf, like just, they don't bomb it, but they hit it straight off the tee every time. And, they're on the green in like 2 or 3 and, 2 putt and you get par bogey. Like, I think most average golfers are like, if that could be my life every time I step on the golf course, I would be totally happy.
Yeah.
And at a minimum, that is possible with programming like this.
Yeah.
But I think it could get even better than that because I know on top of just doing the screening, it's also mixed with programming that will actually build, not only improve just for the sake of improving the deficits, because it doesn't stop there.
No.
Like once we fix the deficits and get them to like a better baseline, it's then maximizing those things, and now you're building higher ranges of motion or wider ranges of motion, controlling them, and being able to add strength and power, so that now we're not just like fixing the mechanical hiccups, we're actually impacting golf performance in the long term. And I know that that's part of your program.
Exactly. It's kind of part of the pyramid where we focus kind of like on the foundation stuff in terms of like foundational strength, foundational mobility. Then we get into the more specific stuff that are more similar movements to what the golf swings simulates. But yeah, no, it's a process where it's like, hey, depending on where the person's at, they might be more in the more advanced category and they're looking to like add 15 to 30 yards to their drive, but they don't really have that much deficits. We can do that with this kind of program. So it's beautiful in the sense that it's really meant for really any level of golfer, which is the beauty of it. You don't have to be a pro. Actually, most people that use this are people that are amateurs, just like you and me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, that's great. What's the best way for people to reach out to you and learn more about Green Swing and maybe just have a conversation with you about where they're at and how it could benefit their golf game?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, eafitnessandperformance.com, and we actually have a tab that has golf-specific training. You can see in terms of the Green Swing Academy, you see the TPI principles in terms of what we're about, how we kind of go about with our programming. You can schedule a time to meet with an elite coach, and it would probably be me in this case, and talk about, what things do you want to work on? Is it because I'm not able to walk 18 like I used to? I'm starting to deal with some new aches and pains, which that'd be something that Dr. Phil and I could work on together. Sure. But really just putting together a program that gives people hope that, they don't have to be, in pain or consistently lose, their handicap increasing every year after year because their physical body is changing. So it all starts with that. You go to our website, love to chat with you for a success session and seeing how we can help improve your golf game.
Fantastic. Definitely check that out. And even if you're not a golfer and you're watching this, and these guys are great. We've got so many mutual clients, and every time we get a client to go over there, they get so much more out of what the great value that Evan's team already provides, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So
100%,
please check them out if you have any fitness needs. I mean, strength and resistance training is the fountain of youth. I can't say that enough. And they do they do a great job here. So definitely go check them out. We'll make sure website, socials, and everything are all right in the description of this video or podcast, depending on how you are taking this in. Thank you all for joining us for another episode. Evan, thanks so much
thanks for inviting me. Happy to be on here. Yeah, probably won't be the last time.
Absolutely not. We'll definitely be chatting again. And make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when we drop new episodes. We're doing a monthly at this point, but where I'm doing it on location here, it really depends on when we can match schedules up. So it might not be on the exact same day all the time. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Would love any 5-star reviews you could give us wherever you listen to podcasts. Share this with someone you know, love, and care about that could benefit from this information. And we'll see you back here next time on the Strength for Your Purpose podcast. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks.